Welcome back to CIA Declassified. Imagine you're standing in a clearing. You've just inflated a helium balloon that's trailing a 500-foot nylon rope. You're wearing a harness that feels uncomfortably tight. In the distance, you hear the growl of a plane. It's not landing. It's coming straight for the rope at 150 miles per hour. You closed your eyes. Thwack! Suddenly, you aren't on the ground anymore. You're a human kite, accelerating toward the clouds at a speed that should be impossible. This is Operation SNATCH. While most people know it as the Skyhook from the movies, for the CIA, it was a cold, hard necessity. Developed by Robert Fulton Jr., this system turned the sky into a retrieval highway for agents who had nowhere left to run. The agency didn't just wake up one day and decide to play tetherball with their operatives. They needed a way to recover people from denied areas. The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system used a specialized fork mounted on the noose of a C-130 aircraft. The plane would aim for a lift line held aloft by a helium balloon, snagging the rope in a locking mechanism that simultaneously released the balloon. A quote from Robert Fulton, a technical brief: "The sensation for the person on the ground is not a jerk, but a firm upward lift. As the plane catches the line, the individual is swept into a trailing arc behind the aircraft, clear of the propellers," end quote. The first live test subject wasn't a human, but a pig. Legend has it, the pig was so disoriented by the flight that once it was pulled into the plane, it attacked the crew. The first human to try it was Sergeant Woods in 1958, who reported the ride was actually quite smooth. Operation Cold Feet was the system's most famous real-world use. In 1962, the CIA used the Skyhook to snatch 2 investigators off a deserted Soviet drift station in the Arctic after gathering intelligence on Russian submarine detection. A quote from a declassified after-action report from Operation Cold Feet: "The pickup was executed in high winds and near zero visibility. The subject was successfully engaged on the first pass and winched aboard within 7 minutes of initial contact," end quote. The nylon rope used in Operation Snatch was tested to withstand over 4,000 pounds of shock load to ensure that the snap of the plane hitting the line wouldn't simply bisect the agent. The Skyhook suit was insulated with sheepskin with heavy webbing to prevent the agent from freezing or being crushed by the wind resistance during the climb. To guide the pilot, the lift line was equipped with small marker flags every 50 feet, allowing the nose fork to be centered on the rope, even in the middle of a moonless night. Once the agent was trailing behind the plane, the crew used a long pole with a hook to catch the line and attach it to a hydraulic winch, slowly reeling the person into the open rear cargo ramp. The CIA successfully used the system in the jungles of Vietnam to extract long-range reconnaissance teams who were surrounded and couldn't clear a landing zone for a helicopter. Robert Fulton actually got the idea from watching the way mail trains snatched bags off hooks while moving at high speeds in the old American West. The system was so effective that the agency developed a cargo version capable of lifting 500 pounds of sensitive equipment or captured enemy documents in a single snatch. During training, the CIA discovered that if the plane flew too low, the package would bounce off the ground before being lifted. They had to calculate a safe snatch altitude of exactly 450 feet. The Fulton system remained a closely guarded secret for years, with the public only catching a glimpse of it in the 1965 film Thunderball. By the late 1990s, the development of long-range, mid-air, refuelable helicopters made the Skyhook largely obsolete, though it remains in the specialized toolkit. The agency's Skyhook School in North Carolina had a 100% safety record for human pickups, a statistic that many agents found hard to believe until they were actually in the air. The Fulton kit was compact enough to be dropped in a standard delivery container, allowing a standard agent to receive the balloon, gas cylinders, and harness via a parachute drop before their scheduled pickup. To prevent the balloon from being spotted by enemy radar, the CIA experimented with a radar transparent Materials for the balloon skin. A quote from the Declassified training manual: subject must maintain a seated position facing away from the direction of aircraft approach. Sudden vertical displacement will occur instantaneously upon contact, end quote. The B-17 Flying Fortress was one of the first planes modified for the system before the C-130 became the standard Snatch platform. The agency briefly considered a water pickup version where an agent in a life raft could be snatched, but the drag of the water proved too dangerous for the harness. When you look at the denied area deployment logs for Operation Snatch, the ink gets thick enough to hide a mountain. The heaviest redactions are in the unsuccessful engagement section. Speculation suggests these bars hide the details of missions where the Snatch worked, but the subject was dead on arrival, not from the flight, but from being extracted while already under fire. The theory is that the agency used Skyhook to recover bodies to prevent enemy show trials. Further speculation surrounds the Joint Intelligence Snatch logs. Conspiracy theorists believe the redacted text here describes the extraction of high-ranking Soviet defectors directly from the streets of Moscow using modified civilian planes, and the black bars hide the names of those who were disappeared into the West. There is another theory that the redactions hide the weight limit experiments. Speculation holds that the CIA tried to snatch 2 people at once using a tandem harness, and the black bars hide the catastrophic failure reports when the rope snapped under the double load. Some speculate the redactions hide the high-altitude snatch test. The theory is that the agency tried to pick up agents from the top of the Himalayas, where the air is too thin for helicopters, and the bars hide the oxygen deprivation incidents. Some conspiracy theorists often point to the Area 51 logs. The speculation is that the Skyhook was used to recover non-human artifacts from crash sites to avoid leaving the tracks of evidence of a recovery team, and the redacted files hide the descriptions of the payloads. There's also speculation that the balloon was just a cover for anti-gravity tech. The theory is that the black bars hide the fact that the plane didn't pull the man was beamed up, and the rope was just for show. There's also some speculation that the night vision redactions hide the use of radioactive markers on the lift lines, and the black bars hide the long-term health effects on the pilots who stared at the glowing ropes for hours. Some theorists believe the black bars in the interrogation extraction section hide a plan to snatch enemy prisoners and interrogate them while they were dangling behind the plane to break their will. Another theory suggests the redactions hide the silent snatch, speculation that the agency developed a glider version of the Skyhook that could pick someone up without any engine noise, and the black bars hide the stealth physics. Finally, some even speculate that the redactions hide the urban snatch logs, showing how the CIA participated in picking people up from the rooftops of New York City to prepare for extractions in crowded European capitals. Some conspiracy theorists even speculate that the deep sea redactions hide a mission where the Skyhook was used to snatch an operative from a moving submarine's conning tower, and the black bars hide the hydrodynamic drag fatalities. There's a wild speculation that the redacted biological transport section hides the use of Skyhook to move infected animals into hot zones, and the black bars cover the accidental release over friendly territory. Some speculate that the redactions in the field repair section hide a secret CIA glue that could instantly bond the nylon rope back together if it frayed, with the bars hiding the toxic fumes reports. There's even a theory that the zero visibility snatch redactions hide the use of psychic remote viewers to guide the pilot to the line, and the black bars hide the Project Stargate connection. Lastly, some speculate the redactions hide the lunar recovery feasibility study where the CIA allegedly looked into using a Skyhook-style system to snag moon rocks from a returning orbital capsule. Was Operation Snatch a success? Operationally, it was a triumph. It gave the CIA a global reach that no other intelligence agency possessed. It allowed for the impossible, the retrieval of assets from the most hostile environments on Earth. Technically, it was a high-risk, high-reward. As far as technological and operational breakthroughs go, the human kite left a lasting mark on the world of special operations. Load-bearing polymers. The research into high-tension nylon ropes led to stronger materials used in modern parachutes and mountaineering gear. Mid-air retrieval. The Skyhook techniques were adapted for catching returning film canisters dropped from early spy satellites. Rapid exfiltration. It pioneered the low footprint recovery when an agent could be saved without a single boot touching the ground. And aerial coordination. It pushed the limits of pilot precision, leading to better all-weather low-altitude flight protocols. Operation Snatch proves that when the CIA needs to get someone home, they'll ignore the laws of fear and common sense to make sure that it happens. Thanks for listening to this episode. Next time we examine Operation Whale. How do you track a Navy without being seen? You build an acoustic spy. We'll look at the maritime project involving acoustic buoys disguised as sea life, whales, dolphins, and even large fish, designed to listen to the Cuban Navy. From the challenges of making a fake whale look real to the sharks that kept trying to eat the agency's expensive sensors, we uncover the undersea secrets of the Cold War's mechanical menagerie. Join us for the synthetic sea next time. In the meantime, I'll see you in the archives.